All right, guys. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's having a good day. We're going to be focusing on a number of things. This is a little bit different with the weekend streams, right? Like we have a couple of days of news built up, and then at the same time, we don't have all the action of markets. So the focus will really be news based. We're going to talk about, again, kind of go through, macro related events, economic data, that kind of stuff, and then we'll jump over to specific stocks. And if you guys and then after that, I should say, go into like the Bitcoin crypto side of this too. But it'll just be framed a lot different. It'll be a lot more news and research kind of stuff with a little bit of economic data and maybe some other details you don't know. But yeah, if you guys have any stocks that you want me to look up along the way, go ahead and throw them in chat. I don't think anybody's put one in yet, so you'll be like first in line if you want some tickers looked at the end of this. But we're going to try and roll through it quick. So first thing to report, economic data. We have like 4 different metrics for China's PMI data that's going to be coming out tonight at 8:30 p.m. That should be interesting. It'll probably be a little modified, but it's cleaner than some of their employment data, so it should glean something. Now next week we have tons of economic data. It's going to be a very busy week. So we start off Tuesday with I should say starting Monday. Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index, Treasury refund finance estimates. I'm gonna show you more detail about that and why that's important. And I'm sorry, it's tomorrow night that we'll have the China PMI data, and then it just keeps going from there. I mean, look at this: employment-related data, retail sales data, house price data, PMI, consumer confidence, Dallas Fed services. And then just like every day is data, tons and tons of data points. So it's going to be a really busy week. And then again, we have Sofi earnings on Monday, and then Tuesday morning. So Monday morning we have Sofi, and then now Tuesday morning we have PayPal, which is weird. As far as I know, in this company's history, they've never done this before. And I can't imagine you would want to report early in the day unless you had a really good day and you wanted to get lots of liquidity in, or a really good quarter, I should say, and wanted lots of liquidity. So it's very interesting that they switched that up. Now, again, some of the tools I'm using, like the macro micro site, which is conveniently just an inverse version of my name. It's great. There's so much to it. I don't have much to show you right now, but there is so much on this site. They even have their little GPT. So there's a ton of stuff here. I'm continuing to try and go through it and learn what all the goodies are. And so I'll start to add this to my tool belt in the months and quarters ahead. Now, let's jump into the macro. Let's get into each one of these. 1 second here. Let me just zoom in. So Jake posted this. He said the S&P, and some of this is kind of I clump it into macro, but some of it is just the indices, which I include in that circle. And this is the S&P, and it just says when the MACD curls up to the upside like this, it's generally good for at least a few days of upside, sometimes more. And we're doing it again. And we had a really great bounce last week. I don't know how many of you were paying attention, but it's okay in markets that are going up and that have prolonged cycles, which I still believe we're in, that you have really sharp downturns. That's actually really healthy. You want that because you have a really sharp downturn and then you have a really sharp upturn. And I do believe that's what we got this last week. And if we just look, here, I'll pop this up. If we pull up the S&P, again, this is just a nice pop right off the 100 moving average, right off the bottom of the RSI, right off one of the steepest drops in the MACD. I mean, going back a very long ways to September of 2022. So, I mean, this is great. This is a great reset. This is what we want, and that's what we got. And so I think it's really healthy. And Jake's just pointing that out in a different way. Let me see. What else we have for comments while I'm going here? Expand Network. Hey, Jesse, thoughts on Sofi earnings tomorrow? I think they're going to do really good, and they've got wicked short interest. I'm going to go over some of these tools in a second here, kind of specifically focused on Sofi, just real briefly, not in depth. But I think they're set up. I think they're set up for a short squeeze, a wicked one. Highest level of short interest I could find going back at least 18 months. And so we're ready to rock. It's going to be fun. All right, let me see what else we got here. Hey Jesse, what are your thoughts on Enphase? I think that's I don't know. It doesn't have as promising as a future as like Tesla does now with this autonomy stuff, and they've still got the fear of rates and how long we're gonna stay where we are. They could do all right. They could do all right. They'll probably turn around. Maybe it takes a quarter. Maybe it starts sooner. I don't know. We could look at the chart in a little bit. Johnny Utah, Jesse, why do some companies report earnings versus the? It's a matter of personal preference and scheduling. Tyler H, let me grab my popcorn. All right, do it, man. Lauren Wheeler, thanks for doing weekend sesh. What up? Yeah, I'll be doing this every Sunday. Is kind of the goal, I think, around 6 o'clock. I'll be doing a recap. Just there's so much, especially this weekend. So many things with Bitcoin. So many things with Tesla. So many macro related things that are coming up. Like there's just so much data that comes up over the weekend. I think it's a good idea to spend like an hour and make sure that you're not missing anything. So that's kind of the goal of this one. And that way you start off the week. Farhan, thank you. Really appreciate it. If somebody clicks on that, they become a member. All right, let me see. Tyler H, love the weekend streams. Lauren Wheeler, getting stoked for the week. I am too. I'm actually really excited about this next week. Just between SoFi and PayPal earnings alone, starting off the week, it's gonna be a crazy one. It's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, let me see what else. Expand Network. Sorry, Jesse. Could I ask what your PT is for? So I think if the short squeezes hard, I think we could hit the 11-12 range very quickly. Maybe tomorrow. What is my price target in the future? I don't know, man. I'm probably going to be selling out of options and switching to stock in the not too distant future. If we have a really strong couple day run that pushes us up towards the $12 range, I might even unload a decent amount of the SoFi. It all depends. It all depends on where we're sitting. But I'd say short to mid, and by short to mid, I mean like next couple of like 24 hours to, next month or two. I think 12 is easy for SoFi. Like the 11 to 12 range is easy. And then maybe we get a little bit of resistance there and it takes another, quarter to go higher. I don't know. Let's see here. Marty Cohen. Everyone, hello, Jesse. Smokey, thoughts on Elon's surprise visit to China? We're going to talk about that. Fubo, I heard a few days ago that you think it's trash. I do. Is this because you think that possible returns will be... There's so many reasons. I can show you in a little bit here. Lauren Wheeler, thoughts on BITX? 2x Bitcoin fund. I mean, it's 2x Bitcoin fund. So is MicroStrategy. I like that one better. Dogglebutt, or Dooglebutt. I love that name. Hey, Jesse, how did you go about picking all your altcoins in your shitcoin? Part of it is grabbing research from other people that have spent a lot more time in it than I have. Like James with Invest Answers is a great example of that, and a few others. And then just my own personal experience and anecdotes with altcoins over the last couple of cycles and my investments in them. And so there's a few different ways that I did it. But I kind of locked and loaded already. So all of the positions that I have right now are the ones that I'm going to have. I don't trade shit coins. It's just not worth my time. It's just not worth my time or the risk. I do plenty. I'm shooting for like a little over 10x on my bag for all my shit coins, and that would get me to like $4 or $5 million. So I'd be happy with that. I don't really care too much otherwise. Takumi69, smash the like and subscribe. Jesse's in the house on a Sunday. Yes, if you could do that, that would be great. And I'll get back to comments here in a second. But yeah, if you guys could like and subscribe or whatever, that's greatly appreciated. I'm going to jump back in here and just keep rolling down through the macro-related stuff, and then we'll go from there. So I said, this said radar just in, China telecom firms to phase out foreign chips and massive blow to Intel. Oh, wait, that's an old one. Let me get back. This is not the one I want. Up, 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 up. I don't always love the way bookmarks are done. Let me see here. I got to get a little bit higher. NX. Sometimes it does weird stuff and launches me around to different time frames, and that sucks. Did it just do that right now? Oh, I'm going to be so pissed if it did. Let me see here. Oh, I'm going to be so pissed. Let me see. I don't know. This might be... This better not be the whole thing. This is the whole thing. Let me go back here. One sec here, guys. I need to make sure that this has got... Oh, I hope it didn't F it up. Hopefully it's just me clicking on the wrong thing. Oh, that pisses me off so bad. All right, we're going to have to do this different. I hate this. Got to figure out a better way to stack these because this just sucks. All right, so we're going to start low. Want to do this in a good sequence, but the bookmarks inside of X suck sometimes. They're just absolute trash. And so they'll reset and like reorganize. They won't do it by the time I assign the bookmark. They'll do it by like whatever the fuck they feel like doing. So it's just super, super, super duper annoying. So now instead of doing these by the categories that I was hoping to do them in, I just want to make sure you guys don't miss them all. So this won't be as clean as I was hoping for, but I'll figure out an alternative in the future. I just want to make sure we get them all the good ones at least. Oh, it's so choppy. It's just all over the place. That drives me nuts. All right. So the QRA, that's what we were just talking about a second ago. This is the quarterly refunding announcement. And so that's coming out this week, like just near the beginning of the week. And it's a big deal because it lets us know what the Treasury is, or what Janet Yellen with the Treasury is going to be doing, if she's going to be issuing longer dated bonds or if she's going to be doing shorter dated Treasuries, basically a form of stealth liquidity for the markets. And liquidity rules all in markets, guys. And so the thought is that we're going to continue to see short dated liquidity, and that this will help feed the markets and basically open up more money within the banking sector. Maybe we burn down the reverse repo a little bit more too, and this acts as, again, a form of stealth liquidity that ends up pumping the markets. Real quickly, right here too, it says this chart reflects that the Treasury is usually printing short-dated T-bills when they're trying to establish a market bottom during a financial crisis. And let me actually jump in here a little bit too, see if I can do this without. Oh God, I hate that so much. Did I lose it now? Did I lose it? Oh, I got to find a better way to do this. This pissed me off so bad. All right. Anyway, I can tell you right here. This is essentially the same thing. So this is just showing the bills that are being printed with the shorter term T-bills in purple right here. And then this other line is the amount of debt that we're looking at, right? And so you can see, if we go back into history here, we can see that during times of, economic concern, like in 2008, they were printing tons of shorter dated treasuries. And they were doing that because they didn't want to have a bunch of debt obligations that go way out at higher interest rates, right? Like you want to just print a bunch of money over the short term. You don't have duration risk. Duration just is like time, right? So longer dated treasuries like the 20-year, if you hold the 20-year, government bond, is our country going to be solvent in 20 years? Is that bond going to be redeemable? A couple of years ago, I would have said, yeah, of course. But today, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be redeemable in 20 years. So that's what they mean by duration risk. It means that it could, you don't want to hold it for a bunch of time because there's more risk associated with it. And so but you'll see that in 2008, during the bottom of the great financial crisis, these things kind of peaked, right? And then they dropped back down. Then you'll also see in March of 2020, when we kind of had peak fear and the stock market was at its bottom, they were doing a bunch of printing of shorter dated treasuries. And then now we're kind of reaching a similar peak. So one could ascertain that since the last two times that they kind of hit these peaks on printing a bunch of treasury notes, that we had reached bottoms in the market, going back, 50 years almost, then that it might be a good sign too that we could be seeing a bottom right now in the markets, and that we could be headed higher over the short term and not something we're going a lot lower. But yeah, my friend Thomas here, he went through a ton of this. I'm not going to go through all of it on how all of this works, and it's a good read if you're able to sustain something like this, because macro stuff can get dry and it can get boring. But it's a good read, and it talks about what the QRA is. And I think that we're going to be looking in this next week that they're going to be signaling that they're going to be pumping more money into the markets. And if that's true, and then our other macroeconomic data comes out well, I think we're going to do really good, and the markets are going to go higher. And this is just, Dan Greenhouse had another perspective about it, saying that there's nothing to fear here in regard to rates. So nothing too crazy. Well, let me go back here. I just want to see if I can, one more time. Nope, it's just all reset all over the place. Oh, I hate that so much. all over the place. Let me see. Yeah, that just sucks. So I'll just have to go to the regular bookmarks and do it from there. Fucking hate that. So bad. All right. So a couple things to note, and we'll just roll through them. I wish they were in a better order, but they're not, and that's what we're going to deal with. So here with Tesla. What the heck? Oh, there it is over there. Here we go. That's better. Here with Tesla. So this is from ARK Invest. This is their big ideas 2023. It talks about the speed of progress and cost is nuts. And this isn't just to Tesla. This is also in regard to... My glasses just broke. Awesome. This is also in regard... This is a great session so far, guys. This is also in regard to just AI in general. And what it's talking about is a 70% cost reduction at an annual rate in training hardware costs for AI and the software training cost of using neural networks. So all this is saying is that we're seeing an incredibly fast rate of cost reduction, and the scaling on AI is going to be nuts. And I can tell these are my reading glasses. They're really glossy. Sorry about that. But yeah, so we're going to see AI is not a joke at all. And it's scaling at just an astronomical rate. And so just keep that in mind. Also, I wanted to take note here that 12.36 is already being released to employees. Tesla has never had a deployment schedule that's as fast as it is right now. It's a very big deal. Oh my God, is this making me reset each time? I guess we'll just go down. Whatever, fuck it. All right, so Bitcoin. Again, this was going to be way more organized, but we're just dealing with what we have. Taking 1% of each of these markets would make you mega rich. And all I'm saying here is Bitcoin Times posted and said Bitcoin has the largest total addressable market, or TAM. You might hear the term TAM. That's what it means. It's just who can be your market if you get everybody in history. And it shows all these different categories because we use real estate as a store of wealth. Debt is technically a store of, well, I mean, it's debt, but it's also kind of wealth. And then the stock market, broad money supply, gold, Bitcoin, like all of this, right? And it talks about how if you just took, like what I was saying, is if you just took 1% of these different markets, we would all be stupid fucking rich. No matter, like even if you put the smallest amount of money into these things. So it doesn't, Bitcoin can replace this as a store of value in a lot of different things in our society, whether you realize this yet or not. And if it does, then we're going to see, just lots of money flowing in. This is from Peter Diamandis. He's kind of a futurist. I love him. He's very, very into the health scene too. Great guy. He said AI's impact on the job market will be significant. Preparing for a future where many jobs are automated is not just wise, it's essential. And he said every human should have the opportunity to learn and use AI to their advantage. And I would highly, if you want to exist and have employment in the not too distant future, I would highly recommend that you spend time learning as much as you can about whatever AI type tools can help you with your job. If you don't do that, you'll be replaced. If you're easily replaceable. And the funny thing is, people used to talk about how physical labor and stuff would be the jobs that got disrupted first. Honestly, creativity, organization, analytical type jobs, a lot of these researcher and really smart people, people that like to think they're smart, me, they can be replaced by AI in the future just by people being able to ask the right questions and then having them give the answers. So disruption will come fast for everybody. So just keep that in mind. Keep it in mind if you want to keep a job or retire soon. All right. I wanted to say this about Tesla too, because I don't think this is being factored in so many people's minds right now. This is the price of lithium. It shows how it has absolutely collapsed. This is in regard to the CNY, so the Japanese or Chinese yuan, right? And it's the major lithium market and pricing for the world. And you could see where it was, it's dropped by over a fifth from where it was in this 11,000 range from the 60,000 range. It's insane. And here's why I bring that up. I say as traditional auto runs away from EVs and companies in China continue to fail, there are 499, or I'm sorry, 500 EV companies in China that are competing against each other. If you can imagine that shit show. And only like 3% of them have any real market share. And they're all being funded by their government. But anyway, so they're all failing like crazy in mass. In mass. I can't even tell you how many fucking empty factories there are in China right now. It's an insane number. And then you have legacy auto running away and doing hybrids and little tiny batteries now. You have this problem where they had really committed to the supply chain for all these lithium distributors that they would have this solid amount of business coming in. And guys, it ain't fucking there outside of Tesla and like BYD and a couple of other companies. But really the best in the world by far is Tesla. And so while everybody else is running away, Tesla is going to benefit from this because the prices are just gone. It's one of the reasons why their margins were so good this last quarter, and it will only get better. And then they could have foreign currency that might get better here over the short term too. So they'll get currency effects on Tesla, but at the same time, they get battery costs. And guys, you have to realize it's not just the batteries for the cars that are helping them a lot. They're seeing an increasing business in energy. And right now, with the guarantees they have going out years in the energy business, they have major incentive to scale the fuck out of their plants. So we'll see a lot of that ramping. And with the low costs of these things, every battery pack or mega pack that they deploy will just be printing money. So I wanted to make sure you were thinking about that. Also, just a quick anecdote, Robinhood, I love it. Because on the weekends and overnight, I can actually see what's happening with price action for stocks. And again, if you don't have an account, you should set one up. It's a great thing to test and get to know better. All right, let me keep going down here. So this is interesting. Lots of news with Tesla in China over the weekend, guys. So Elon visited over there with one of their, I don't remember what his title is. Nobody really cares, but. He visited over there, and there's so many things. So we've got enhanced autopilot that came out this last week, where they're starting to charge subscriptions for it. And I think it's like, I can't remember if it's like it might be like 99 for 3 months or something, and 69 for I don't remember. It's like it's got a discounting strategy to it, and we'll probably see it in one of these slides in a second. They were organized better, but hopefully we'll see one in a second. But also, on top of all that stuff, on top of them having these meetings, on top of the fact that they're releasing a subscription service already for the enhanced autopilot, we're seeing that we're getting notification from the Chinese Association of Automobile Manufacturers. And like, again, some of these concerns that were had, like Computer Network Emergency Technology Processing Coordinator Center, that Tesla meets all 4 security requirements for data automotive processing. So we're starting to see checks occurring that are saying, oh my God, we might see Tesla full self-driving subscriptions and activity in China, a market I would have previously said that would not happen. It looks like now is going to happen. And what's really amazing about that is the sheer market size and the amount of money that can be made from this when it happens. And the fact that it shows some of the desperation from the Chinese government, because previously, like, they were starting to lock down and harass people that were driving Teslas, and they were telling them they couldn't be on government facilities, just like iPhones and stuff like that. They just couldn't have any of this stuff there. And now all of a sudden they look like they're cozying up and agreeing that they should let Tesla full self-driving into the country so that they can benefit from this along with Tesla. They want Tesla to shine as this is their moment for China to kind of say, hey, we're sorry about locking down the country for 3 or 4 years. We're sorry about constantly, without saying any of these things, right? We didn't mean to, harass the South China Sea and militarize most of it over the last decade. We're sorry that we constantly encroach upon the maps of all of the countries that are around us, including Russia and some others that are supposed to be our allies, and without any, without any, boundaries whatsoever. They're our friends, and we'll still redraw a map and take a bunch of their land. So like, and then all the stuff that's all the problems, right? All the fights going back and forth between the West and China. But they want to say we're open for business. They want to say, look at us, we're working with Tesla, we're doing all this stuff, like we're a place where you should come and do business again. They want foreign direct investment. And so it looks like this could be a win-win. So before we were all worried about with Tom Zhu, cool. Yeah, Tom's a badass, man. He spun up Tesla China in like no time. He's awesome. But before we were worried about China-related risk, but it looks like over the short term, we might get some China-related juice because it's beneficial to both parties. And this is exciting. This is really exciting. And Peggy says in here, Curious Peggy, he said Tesla sold a total of 1.7 million vehicles in China. Half are eligible for FST at $99 a month. That would be roughly 84 million in monthly revenue, 1 billion annual revenue. 60% margins would mean over 600 million. It would be way above 60% margins, way above it. But the whole gist is that they could make a lot of money, which is very, very interesting. Kumar, Jesse, bro, tried FSD yesterday. Oh my God. Question. Want to double my call position for June 18th, 2026. It's at $25 contract. Is that a good buy? Here's the problem, Kumar. Those contracts jumped 60% in 2 days, dude. So it's been great for my portfolio, but I don't know if I could say that that's a great value. It's up to you, man. Like if we get another like dip or something, then maybe they get better priced, or just like buy Tesla, just buy the stock. You know what I mean? Like just do that. Hey Jesse in chat. Hey Disney's Kodak. What's up, bro? Queso Fresco. Sup Jesse? Mad respect for all the work you do. Do you see coin beating earnings this week? Fuck yeah, dude. FASB accounting rules are going to be very beneficial to them, and there's been so much trade volume. I would think they do well for the earnings. I don't know what their guidance will be. It might be rockier over the short term, like the Bitcoin miners might have rockier guidance, like MicroStrategy might have rockier guidance. I don't know. Like they might just plan for maybe a down quarter where the market doesn't outperform because of the halving. But no, I mean it's good. It's good stuff for them. All right. So again, and it's Walter Bloomberg says on here, China Premier Li on meeting. Oh, his name is Li. On meeting with Tesla's Musk. Tesla's development in China can be called a successful example of Sino-U.S. economic trade cooperation, said the Chinese state media. So again, this is a moment where they're trying to say like, look. Tesla's working with us and it's going really well for them. Come back and do your business here. And again, just another post from Tesla Chan, a great source to follow if you want to follow what's going on in China. He just said Tesla meets all data security processing requirements in China, continuing. This is exciting news. And then they showed an example of Tesla full self-driving potential on a Chinese highway. So it's getting very interesting. I think this is actually just the enhanced autopilot, but whatever. Cool. It's cool stuff that they're starting to get this. Another thing. I wish I had these just by topic. I'm just like all over the place. So Hong Kong spot Bitcoin ETFs. I'm going to be tracking these. These go live April 30th. So on Tuesday, like bright and early, we're going to see the Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETFs going live in Hong Kong. Should be very, very interesting to hear what happens with flows. There's also some other stuff we need to talk about, but we'll hit that up here in a second. And Quentin posted on here, Hong Kong BTC and ETH ETFs launch. BNY Mellon, America's oldest bank, reported exposure to Bitcoin ETFs. Hello. Morgan Stanley about to allow its 15,000 brokers to recommend Bitcoin ETFs to their client. I'm sure that's nothing. These aren't bearish things. I'm going to agree. I think he's probably right. And again, Cointelegraph, Franklin Templeton has just listed their spot Ether ETF. So we have an Ethereum ETF now that it's listed on the DTCC. We're going to talk about the DTCC in a second in regard to Bitcoin and just crypto and some new rules that they have, but we'll do that in a second. But this is a positive sign. It actually means that maybe we're going to see an ETF for Ethereum. If that happens, woof, interesting shit ahead, guys. All right, so Seth Golden, he posted a couple of good ones today. Said Goldman Sachs on month-end pension rebalancing. Heading into month-end, model estimates are 1 billion of U.S. equities to buy from pensions, given the moves in equities and bonds over the month. So again, just more inflows. Here's another great one. The S&P has made 22 all-time highs in 2024. Only one other time did the S&P make 22 all-time highs in a calendar year. He's always good for stuff like this. and not make at least two more all-time highs thereafter since since 1929, around late into the Great Depression. Odds that the highs are in for 2024 is roughly 5%, which is very low. Also, something else to note, that if because of the all-time highs that we've made throughout this year, and again the sheer number of these, we're likely to have new all-time highs still. And so, like, the bear's argument, and what he's trying to say here too, is that we've seen the top and we had this run, and now the bear stuff is kicking in. But all the data tells us that it's nothing like that. Whether you just look at the technicals and what's happened with each of the indices, or whether you look at historical data, there's so many different measures you can look at right now, liquidity measures, everything. It all says that we're still getting started. So keep that in mind. Makes sense. More people are replacing bets that they can refinance at lower rates. So this is anecdotal, but this is great. This is one of the people that follows me, and he said, "Hey, Jesse, I'm a realtor, and I can say it's been picking up over the last month for me as some people are starting to front run the interest rate drop event over here." And he said, was crickets for sales in late 2023 into February of 2024, but we're finally starting to see like something happen at the beginning of the spring here, which is great. That's what you want to see. And if we get some kind of notification June, July that rates are coming down, that front running could turn into people playing catch up. So just remember that. So we could see the housing market actually reignite, and that would be super healthy for the economy. That is not a bearish signal to have the housing market come back for the first time in almost 2 years. It's not a bearish signal, guys. I don't know what to say. All right. I wanted to say this. It's just about my investment strategy. And again, for people that are newer here. So I said I only buy call leaps, so options that are incredibly undervalued investments. Why? Because the asymmetric upside potential and the likelihood of that being of the bet being successful over time is so great. So I'm looking for things where it's like, okay, this is down at the trough. There's all these amazing things that are going to happen from a technical standpoint, from a fundamental standpoint, from a macro perspective, that give this a high probability of success. And like, again, look at this. These companies that I'm invested in right now, how much downside risk do I have, guys? Sofi is down 72% from its all-time high a couple of years ago. PayPal is down 78% from its high like 2.5, almost 3 years ago. Hood, 79% 3 years ago. ARKG down 80, Square down 74, Flux down 80%. This is a small cap, so I don't have leaps on it. It's just too easy to move. DLO down 80.5%, and this is a growing company in Latin America. Tesla down 60%. So you guys just have to realize, like, put things in perspective. It might seem crazy that I've got all these asymmetric bets, and then again, I've got over 1.2 or something million in crypto-related investments too. But I see these as really high potentials of return, asymmetric bets, and then there's a number of them pointing in different directions. Like some of this is tech. Some of it is in different parts of the world. It's like Tesla. I don't even know what you call that anymore. It's the like best Swiss Army knife large cap you could possibly purchase. And then we got a bunch of fintech here and some genomics. So it's like and Bitcoin and crypto. So you have like a mix of a decent amount of things that can all do well. And when you have global liquidity flowing in, it's just a matter of which one does well at what time. And then you start to sell out of that one, and then you could divvy that up amongst the rest, or a cash position or whatever. But this is how I do shit, and it's worked stupid fucking well for me. And again, I made 700% last year alone. So I just wanted to make sure that I spell that out. I think sometimes, I forget that people are coming in here and they're kind of new. Yeah, so this is the same thing. So Banana 3 Stocks was just talking about the TGA2, which is the Treasury General Account, and this same kind of thing where they're going to be coming out with their report and letting us know with the QRA, are they doing short-term treasuries, or are they doing bond stuff. So again, it's important to know this. It's important to know if we're getting more of that self-liquidity coming in. And then we're starting to see more of this, guys. So again, I can't tell you how fucking bullish it is if FSD happens in China. And just that narrative that he was there this weekend, it's so fucking insane, guys. We could definitely see Tesla taking off heading into this next week. Definitely. So anyway, their whole point here was, hey, is it time to buy the dip? Junes are great for Tesla. Cool. The dip was actually, last Tuesday. That's like, I guess Monday or whatever. The day before earnings is when you wanted to buy this shit. And so I said that. And then Seth said here, rate hikes are a step function to fight inflation, not fight the economy. So yeah, this is interesting. So I had posted, or I should say this, Seth had posted something about that JP Morgan. It says, admittedly, many of the economic and profit leading indicators we track have improved. So this is JP Morgan saying have improved since last August. The story of the resilient U.S. economy has further distanced itself from the Jamie Dimon 2023 economic hurricane warnings. So again, Jamie Dimon had warned us that everything was falling apart, right, in 2023. And now that's turned into shit looks pretty good. So that's interesting. But then Anthony said, but better economy means the rates can be delayed too. The rate cuts, right? So he's saying if the economy is too good, then the rate cuts are going to be delayed. And I said, no, it doesn't mean that. The government still needs to lower their debt interest levels. I should like my post. And then Seth responded with that too and said, rate hikes are a step function to fight inflation, right? So not fight the economy. It's very important to realize. They're not trying to fight the economy, right? They're trying to fight inflation. We don't have a lot of inflation right now. It's like at best flat. And then he says rate cuts are a step function thereafter to alleviate restrictive economic conditions. The reasons to remain restrictive are increasingly limited. And so all he's saying here is that we don't have that we can lower rates. We don't need to be restrictive. And this is this thing I keep saying all the time. And if anything, we actually desperately need to not be restrictive so that we can lower the debt interest for the federal government, because it went from 350 billion to almost 900 billion. Almost this by the end of this year, it's over $1 trillion. By far the highest line item in our budget. That's fucking insane, and it's unsustainable, right? You can't add an extra 600 billion in debt interest a year in just 4 years when you were at 350 billion. You just can't do that. You can't. It's not sustainable. And so that's the only real problem we have now, is that interest rates are too high. And so Seth seems to be agreeing with that in this post as well. Just like, again, I've been saying for a long time. Here's a video, again, just showing Elon hanging out in China this weekend. So he does a lot more. He does a lot more than our own president does. You know what's crazy to me is that the Chinese appreciate Elon Musk more than our government. That's so incredibly disappointing. All right, this says S&P 500's top 10 companies account for 34% of the index market cap all-time high. So that's interesting, but I think that's 100% sustainable. It's 100% sustainable. We have companies right now that are making just ridiculous amounts of money hand over fist, and rates are high, so all their cash is just fucking making more. So, it is what it is. All right. This says mortgage-backed securities just saw a weekly inflow of $2.2 billion, the largest inflow in history. So you got to realize, guys, people are starting to bet on lower rates. This is another way of betting on lower rates. This is betting that the mortgage-backed security market, or mortgages themselves, are in a good place, right? So this is sitting good. And this is what we want to see. We want to see inflows flowing into this sector. More stuff on China. Top semiconductor company abandons China due to U.S. sanctions. Again, they're just getting sanctioned to shit. They're going to get tariffed to shit here soon with EVs and just a number of other sectors where they're just flooding the market. So it's going to get interesting. I just wanted to point out, so with that potential of the Ethereum ETF approval and just some of that narrative building up, you could see how some of my layer 2 investments, and this is what I said my strategy was. So Ethereum was up like a handful of percent this weekend, but Arbitrum and Optimism, 2 layer 2s, and then Matic, another layer 2 on that protocol, and I should have probably included that. It's like right at the bottom of the image, but they went up a lot more. So I can get a 2 to 3x on them versus Ethereum, right? At least. So that's why I don't own a lot of Ethereum. I own these as, a substitute to it. It's a multiplier. Let's see. What do we got here for comments? So, hey, Jesse, first time watching live because of time difference between the U.S. and Korea. Just wanted to say thank you enough to keep sharing market updates. So much respect. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, JS. Henry Castleton, Riot, please. Also, what do you rank them in terms of overall miners? Maybe fourth. Kumar, Giodi, and I'll look it up in a second. Is there a place where we can sell option plays of these companies at a place? Is there a place where we can sell call option plays of these companies? I don't know what you mean by that, Kumar. If you could rephrase that. Concord, Robinhood has a decent interface for options chains. It's a lot better than it used to be, dude. A lot better. All right, so we're going to jump to Bitcoin real quick. So former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard said this. She said, Bitcoin is an independent, transparent form of currency that is not under government control. I don't know what to tell you guys. There are more and more people that are realizing the power of Bitcoin. You need to be on that list. Also, from an old school G, right? Samson Mao. He's like one of the originals. Anyway, he said, everyone seems to be overreacting to the Samori arrests. The FBI, PSA, and Phoenix leaving the U.S. Here's my attempts to break it down. So these are things that people, if you're like a hardcore Bitcoiner, you're screaming about right now because you think the government is cracking down and they're trying to destroy everything Bitcoin related. And Samson just goes through his reasoning why all of these things are really being overdone and that people should keep calm and that everything is fine. I won't go into all the details, but check out his post from April 26th. If you want more detail on it. I 100% agree. And he's spot on. It's a waste of energy that people are freaking out about this shit. Doesn't make any sense. And also, Mohegan had posted, Bitcoin has been attacked all week long, and it's only down 1%. So I don't even know. There was over this weekend, and there's this DTCC thing that we're going to probably see in one of these slides in a second. I'll wait to talk about that there too. But if you just look over here, and again, I said this, we can crash by tomorrow morning. We could totally crash into the 60,000 range, maybe into the 59s. It's possible. But I think we're going to wick off of that again, and we're going to establish a base back up here. And that's just a continuation of us looking to break higher. And after the halving, guys, all kinds of things can be weird. But here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that we're still seeing people slowing down dramatically on selling Bitcoin, including Bitcoin miners. And if anything, I could see people like Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy actually buying more. And it's very important to think about. Like that's transformational stuff. When people aren't selling and the new supply has been cut in half, and even the people that are supposed to be selling, the miners, so that they can sustain themselves, stop selling. This is where it gets fun. This is where prices go up. All right, I wanted to post this because there's some people like the Kobayashi letter and a few others that are just super fucking negative people. Right? Like there's always these people that they sound really smart, but they post how everything is going to die and we're all going to die and the world is coming to an end. So fuck it. Just give up. Or at least that's what I feel like the message is. But here's what I wanted to post on this one. So the U.S. fertility rate has officially declined to its lowest level ever recorded. That's frightening, guys. Be scared. It's so fucking low that it's close to the 70s. Wait, what? Oh, so we had this problem before. And then it got better? The 80s and the 90s and the 2000s? We had a higher birth rate? Huh. Than back in the 70s. So you're telling me we're just establishing a lower low, and that if we have a boom time, I don't know, from like one of the greatest wealth transfers in history, where we're looking at boomers, retiring and dying off and transitioning their wealth to younger people that believe in Tesla and Bitcoin and all these other things, that might turn into a boom where people get super fucking rich. And what do? They start having sex and make babies. That's what happens when people feel like life is fucking good again. They start screwing, and then before you know it, you got a couple of kids running around the house, and then they're like, whoa, that might have been too much. So I do think that I think we can have a comeback. And so I just want to be clear that it's not always doom and gloom, guys. Again, I imagine these same things were being posted in the mid-70s. I was born in 77. So I must have been a part of that. I'm always early, guys. I was over here and I knew that the trend was up. Also, this is another person who's a major bear. Michael, he can be bullish sometimes, but not a lot. But he's just saying, hey, if you're worried about AI replacing your kids' future jobs, motivate them to become construction workers. And so this is an interesting slide because it talks about jobs that are easily replaced and ones that aren't. And it's funny because like computer and mathematical jobs, educational instruction and library, business and financial operations, community and social service, legal, sales and related, architecture and engineering, management, that all of these are jobs that are potentially 10 to 49% AI complement, which means that they can be automated. And then some of these jobs like legal, office and administrative support, some of these have higher numbers for being able to be automated, right? To where it's like very likely. Here's the deal. All of those types of companies are going to become incredibly more efficient. What they're giving you here is a list of sectors that will see massive, massive productivity gains in the decades ahead as AI becomes better and better. So if you look at this list the right way with the right eyes, ones where you're trying to find the solutions or look at the positive information that it's relaying to you, you can actually get signal here and realize that these sectors can make you fucking rich. So if you find the right companies that are doing this AI complement or automation in sectors that are going to be highly automated over the short term or can be, there's signal there and you can make a bunch of fucking money. And I think people have to look at things the right way. And I found some irony in this. This is a post from Mario Nawfal, and this is of the same vein, and it talks about how California's $20 minimum wage backfired because it's created a situation where they've worked to automate away these people's fucking jobs, figure out how they can get rid of them. When you fuck with the market fucks you back. So you can't do this, government. You can't do this stuff. You gotta just be like, there's things that you can do, right? You want to make a fairer tomorrow and all that, but do that by supporting companies that are automating the future and creating productivity and not trying to tax the fuck out of them. Because if you allow companies to prosper and automate, then like on the upper end of those tiers, the biggest of the big companies, not like small businesses that had a good fucking year, those guys you increase the tax brackets, especially when they start printing fucking robots. When Tesla starts printing robots en masse and they can do 1 million a year or 500,000, tax the fuck out of Tesla. Elon will probably go ahead and just offer more money to you, because at that point, it won't even fucking matter anymore. Everything will be changing. But when you try and fuck with market dynamics like this and make it to where you're helping these people out, all you're doing is helping them out the fucking door. I get that not everybody's an economist or has run a business, but you gotta look at these things through the vision of how does this play out in markets and what is the real world fucking impact for these decisions, not what I want it to be. And it sounds great. You want everybody to have higher wages. But then when you do this shit, you fuck them and they don't even have jobs anymore. So we have to look at things correctly. All right, bar chart said foreign buying of Chinese stocks at 22.4 billion won. And I just said all fools are soon parted with their money. Sticking to that. Jeff Lutz, while everyone was wondering if Reuters was running the Tesla portfolio or if stranded inventory ties up cash temporarily. So they were worried about these, I would say, the minutia that doesn't really matter as much anymore. The Tesla team got fit and cut costs out of labor and per unit COGS, even in low volumes. What happens when that changes and the volumes increase as they ramp all these new vehicles, as they build out all these fucking cheap batteries because of all the energy that they're getting for nothing because of the lithium, expenses are dropped by like fucking 80% plus. You just have to look at this stuff the right way, guys. Also, Elon posted this. As Kathy Wood states, Tesla is the biggest AI project on Earth. On Earth. Let's listen to this.
I think very importantly, research on how these technologies are going to evolve is critical. You'll see many strategies will put anything that has the word artificial intelligence into a portfolio, anything in the prospectus, let's say. That's one way of doing it. But we are much more focused on who's going to take the lion's share of this market. And it's a winner take most market in many cases. The most interesting one to us, and probably the one that will scale enormously during the next 5 to 10 years, is robotaxis or autonomous taxi platforms. That's the convergence among robotics. Autonomous vehicles are robots. Energy storage, they will be electric because costs are coming down with this new technology, and artificial intelligence. They'll be powered by AI. We believe that that entire opportunity is going to generate revenues of $8 to $10 trillion in 2030, half of which will go to the platforms like Tesla. Tesla is the biggest artificial intelligence project in the world, we believe, as it moves towards this goal of autonomous taxi networks.
So this is a big deal. I don't know how to stress this enough. When Elon gets this cocky, you better watch the fuck out. He has something, and he knows he has it, and I drive it every single day. And he's not so subtly trying to signal to you fucking people that this is the greatest AI company on Earth by a large margin, and they don't even see second place. And for all you people that are like, oh, Sam Altman, ChatGPT, hey, that's the real AI. ChatGPT 4, Grok 1.5 does better in just about every way. Sure, they're coming out with 5. But Elon just started fucking around with these chat bots in the last, less than a year. And he's fucking already there. And he's going to probably surpass him in another. And again, this is real world AI. Having a vehicle or a robot having to figure out, oh, where am I? What's my goal? Okay, and what is all this stuff around me? I can see all these things. Oh, I think I know what all this means. Let me see where I go from here. And then make these decisions with an actual fucking neural net. There's just nothing like this on Earth. Boston Dynamics are remote controlled fucking toys. And even some of these others like Figure AI and others. Okay, yeah, show it all to me. Great. But that's wonderful. But what did you build that robot for? Because we know what Elon's going to try and build this robot for, around 20 grand, right? Like cheaper than the cheapest car. If he can build a robot for 20 grand that it takes these other companies 50 to 100,000 to build, he owns the whole market. Okay? And I don't know if you guys realize this, but all of the other EV makers in China combined can't make as much fucking profit as Tesla per vehicle. All of them combined. So if 500 fucking EV companies in China can't outcompete Elon Musk with that, how is anybody going to beat him in a fucking robot? Anybody. Sorry about that. Getting a little excited. I do that sometimes. For you people who aren't here all the time, you're going to learn that. All right. Oh, yeah. Samantha Leduc. I actually like this lady sometimes, but she was being a fucking idiot in this post, so I got to call it out. She said, long China and short Bitcoin. If you want to lose all your fucking money and miss out on tons of opportunity, listen to that stupid shit. Absolutely asinine. And this is based off of a post from the Depository Trust Company. So this is about how they're not going to take any Bitcoin or Ethereum crypto shit, ETFs, And they're basically going to make it to where if they were being used as collateral, they'll shave a haircut of 100% and basically say that they have no collateral value. This is like a fucking nothing burger. This means absolutely nothing to the real world, and I doubt you'll see much of any activity. Maybe it makes a headline for Monday for Bitcoin-related investments to drop. I hope so, because if I can get that Tesla pop, I've only sold 2%. I might nibble on like another percent or a 2% and then just throw that stuff into Bitcoin related stuff. So yeah, but just ignore it. It's stupid. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, stock market bar chart. I love these guys. I don't always love the way they post things, but I love the content that they do put out there. It's great. They said the stock market hit its highest market concentration since the Great Depression. Probably fine. Like, that title bothers me, I'm not going to lie. So I made my own. So I said, in the 30s, it was common for banks to allow people to obtain 10x leverage in their investment accounts. Did you know that? You could go to your bank, and like in the 30s, if you had $100, they're like, would you like to buy 10 times as much in stock? You could do that. Everybody's doing it. It's really popular. Does that seem fucking problematic? Do you wonder why the Great Depression was so fucked up? Maybe it was the 10x leverage. I mean, a whole bunch of other stuff, but possibly that too. And then I put, and in the dot-com bubble, your friend down the street was rich because they figured out how to make a website and get a bunch of people to invest in it. And this happened all over the country. Dude, this was fucking everywhere. Everywhere during the... I was in the dot-com bubble. I loved investing. I watched it all the time. Everybody had a .com. Everybody. Pets.com, literally one of the like highest valuations out there, and then just fucking poof, gone. So many different .coms like that. Just all trash, right? And I go, but this time we have companies that have never been more efficient, cash rich. I didn't put down all the reasons, but like AI, autonomy, like tons of global liquidity flushing into the system, some of the most aggressive money printing in history. And the companies are really sound and have never had better balance sheets, and they're just fucking cash rich in a high rate environment. We can't compare this to the Great Depression in any way. It is the exact opposite of that. So I wanted to be very clear that this concentration to me means jack shit. And if anything, it might make us more resilient, not weaker. So again, it's to me, it's perspective, right? It's making sure that you're putting perspective on the things you're hearing. Put thought into the shit you hear. Don't just take it as a fucking headline and be like, the world's falling apart. Now here, Republic First Bank. I'm sorry, not First Republic Bank. That was a bank that failed last year. This is Republic First Bank officially collapsed. So this was a scary thing, like, oh no, banking crisis 2.0. Maybe this lasts for like a couple of seconds on Monday. I see no issue here. This bank is irrelevant. Again, this is just Sawyer Merritt talking about those subscriptions. Oh, and here it is. Here's the price. So it's 699 won, or $99 a month. This is just enhanced autopilot. This isn't even like the full self-driving yet, guys. This is just what they can get into their markets. And then it's 1,400 won for 3 months, $66 USD. So I think they're putting this out there right now. But I think what will probably happen is if they get full FSD approval, they'll probably lower these rates. Something similar to kind of like if they need to increase adoption, and they've got, the data centers and everything spun up and they're not having to worry about scale, which shouldn't be too bad, I wouldn't think. They might have segmented data centers just because of the fact that they need to keep stuff in China and not over here. So maybe that's why they're starting off a little high, because they're kind of starting off where we are here in the States. And it wouldn't surprise me if they go lower than that and the margins are smaller in China. But this is great, right? This is just another revenue stream, guys, that we weren't talking about a week ago. Now, here's the one thing I'm worried about heading into the week. It's foreign currency risk, just like Japan having problems. And I'll show you their currency just here in a second. But it says, this is from Lynn Alden. She's a pretty awesome macroeconomist that I like to follow. She says if Japan wants to slow its foreign currency devaluation, they could raise rates. However, that would greatly increase their deficit, the problem we have. which the Bank of Japan would have to monetize and thus accelerate money supply growth. So if they decide to raise rates, which we're probably trying to push them to do, right? Like we're going to try and push them to do that because we don't want them selling our treasuries. The other part here says, or they could sell U.S. treasuries, of which they're the largest foreign holder. So no country has as much foreign treasury as these guys have. So we don't want to have problems here. So we don't want to have them dumping our bonds. We need the American bond to be solid, right? So I think that we're probably working with them to try and figure out how we can help keep the yen from getting crazy and going to levels that it hasn't seen in the 80s. And we can look at that real quickly now. Let me see, where do I have that? Right here. So again, I kind of pointed about some of this, but we've already surpassed levels going back to 1998. Now they're weakening, and this is the dollar's strength versus the Japanese yen. Now they're weakening so much we might pass levels from 1990, which means we'll see levels that we haven't seen since, I don't know, about the time that the Stranger Things was supposed to be around. So it's going back a ways, guys, back when I was a teenager, and that was a long fucking time ago. So neither our government nor the Japanese government want to see the dollar gaining this much strength against the Japanese yen. So what could the U.S. government do to offset that? I don't know. Maybe the short dated treasuries that we're talking about that we're going to get an announcement on by like Tuesday. Maybe they'll indicate that they're doing a bunch of printing and just make it to where our currency devalues next to some of these other currencies. I'm sure China's begging for that too. They've been playing really nice recently. They probably don't want to have currency pressure either. So I could see something like that. I could see those kind of things playing out in the not too distant future. Oh, let me see. There's probably more. Again, I think Sofi. Oh, let's just hop over to that too. So I won't be here tomorrow morning because of I've got an MRI. I'm getting scheduled just to take a look at something in my leg, figure out if I need to have surgery on it. Got a growth, some shit. Hopefully, not too big of a deal. And but it's gotten bigger, so I'm doing an MRI in the morning at like around 6:30 Central Time. So I won't be around for Sofi releasing of their earnings and just the call. So I did post about that, like I said earlier, with Tevis. I think he's doing a show about it. So check out that recent post and join him if you want to see that in the early AM. And then when I'm done doing my stuff, I'll hop on and kind of give my own thoughts on their earnings and what I thought of it. But I'm using a bunch of new tools too, guys. I got my Seeking Alpha account set up. There's so much stuff in here that I want to go through too, especially like quant analyst ratings, Wall Street, all that kind of stuff. It is interesting to note that with Sofi, you can see in here that Sofi has a decent buy rating from Seeking Alpha analysts, right? From the people that are doing it on this platform. Quant ratings are shit. But the thing I like about the quant ratings is how they're coming out. I like the fact that it sees a really poor valuation right now for it. I want to see a poor valuation, right? Or that's okay. And then profitability has been bad, but that's not a big deal because if you look back over here, if you look over at their profitability, they've been trending outside of this one-time write-off. They've been trending in the right direction and were profitable last quarter. If they get 2 quarters in a row where they're profitable, which I think they're leading towards for net income, I think you're going to have a really great day tomorrow. But so some of these quants, I don't like that so much because and then momentum's a C-, right? So it's grading this like unfairly biased towards the downside because it hasn't done well yet. But that's the fucking shit I like, right? I love the down 70% stuff. So to me, this is like this is a feature, not a bug. And the analysts have started to really flip, and at least the SA ones, the Seeking Alpha ones. And I would say normally that they're ahead from what I can see of the Wall Street analysts. And the Wall Street analysts have not flipped. You've still got these guys with like a decent amount of them. If you look over here, what does it say? 9 of them. So there's 3 strong buys, 2 buys. So like that's 5 to the upside, right? But only 3 strong buys. And then 9 holds. So 9 different Wall Street analysts that have, some price on this. and they haven't said it's a buy yet. That's a lot. And then 3 strong sells. So imagine if these guys start to flip and move up this chain. Like, that's the good shit for me. That's what I want to see. So really, I like the SA analyst for the most part. Not always. I like those more. But again, Seeking Alpha is just another tool that I'm going to try and use now that I have it. And then I showed you guys the short interest. I did want to say for SoFi, the short interest is at an 18-month high when it comes to the earnings dates, when the actual earnings were happening. So we are our highest short interest level going back at least 18 months heading into an earnings day at almost 19% short interest. So this is going to be really interesting stuff heading into tomorrow. And Ortex is cool. I've got a lot to look at. You can see this massive sell wall sitting here too on SoFi. But tomorrow is going to be a crazy volatile day. And I'm trying to incorporate these tools more into what I do. And I was hoping to be around for earnings tomorrow for SoFi. But since I can't, maybe we'll try it with PayPal on Tuesday morning. And again, PayPal, Tuesday morning, not Tuesday afternoon. I think that's a hugely bullish sign. Thank you, Jose, too, for signing up. And thank you, Live and Go Labongo. I appreciate you guys for signing up today, too. And I'll get back to chat here in a second. But yeah, just lots of really interesting stuff happening today. And then again, in the crypto world over the weekend, I don't think things were, they're kind of up and down. Again, there's some plays that are doing better than the others. If I scroll up here on the Coinbase account, it's at 253, so it's pretty unchanged, honestly. Like, it hasn't really went much of anywhere at all. And so nothing too exciting to see there. If I look at let me see what the spot over here, if I click on this. Nope, I don't want to look at that. So yeah, so it's looking, to me, it's looking good. And let's see what else we have here. Oh, I want to look at this too. So there's the heat map, the traditional heat map. And again, you can see Ethereum starting to outperform Bitcoin. I like that. I think that's actually a positive thing. And if we look, I don't know if it is. Yeah, over the week, look at that. So this Ethereum ETF news looks positive, and it looks like it's causing Ethereum to start to get a bid. That's cool. Wish Solana was getting it too, but whatever, man. Not everything goes up at once. And I'm happy to see this doing really well. Let me see here if there's anything else. I think I'm going to skip a lot of these other charts. I am going to check Bitcoin again real quick. And then we'll go into your guys' requests. All right, let me see where we ended here. So, again, I think we could drop further. I think we can go down to here. I think we can go down to like the 59 range down here where we start to see support. And then we bounce higher. That's still my take. And I think just with some of the news, like the DTCC stuff and just some of the bullshit that we heard over the weekend, it feels like we're trying to push out some fear to get the price to drop one last time. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping it drops. I really do. I'm very excited about what happens with SoFi tomorrow and throughout the week. And again, with PayPal, I think that's going to do really good too. So I'm excited about Tuesday morning. And then Tesla, I think, is still going to do good because of this China news. So I hope, my bias right now is I want that fucking price to drop like crazy. So if you're worried about my bias, realize that my bias wants the price to drop. But I think that it will actually start to go up. If we get down to like the 58, 59 range, I think we just bounce and go higher again. Solana will get the real pump if ETH ETFs are approved next month. Yeah, well, I mean, I think maybe it'll be the sell the news for the ETH. Like ETH will run up into it, if that's what you mean. And then it will turn into Solana after the ETF gets approved. That's possible. It all depends on the timing of it, how much time people have to ramp into it. That is very possible. Am I Barry White? I got to read all these comments. All right, Johnny, Utah, Henry Castleton, Riot, do you mind checking them when you go through your summary? Yes, I can do that. Do I have that one on my list? Oh, I should add it. I got this little keyboard where I can just press buttons and pull up charts. I fucking love it so much. I love all these efficiencies. The daily market recap is really going to be quick. I just got to figure out my notes for these posts. And maybe I just can't use Twitter bookmarks. It would be ideal if I could. Just for presentation. But yeah, so Riot looks good. Riot is, let me just zoom out. I'll go to the weekly. It's probably better. This one has a lot of history. They were a company before they were Riot blockchain. You know, they were doing other stuff. They go back a long ways. If you look over here, their highs go back to 2002 or something. So they're not a .com, but they're freaking right after it. Now, here's what I want to show you that I'd say is important. Look at this. Look at where Riot was. $7.90. And that was, you know, the 15th. So in a little over a week and a half, we went from $7.90 up to almost doubling, like up 80% up. So Riot has had a good run. And again, this is going to happen. I would say this is like my fourth to fifth favorite miner, like maybe fourth. I like CleanSpark. I like Cypher because of the smallness of the size. And then maybe Mara next. I hate to say that. And then Riot 2, just based on valuation and some of the stuff that they're promising to do. For the big caps, I think the best companies are going to be CleanSpark, Mara, and Riot because of the size of their stacks and then how well, and then like an average of how they execute and all this other stuff, hash rates, new equipment coming on board, getting rid of old stuff, you know, all that, all those things. And then Cypher, I love it as the most for the small caps. But this looks good. It's going to do well. Oh, well, let me see here. Hey, Jesse from Scotland. How do you switch off? Do you meditate? Oh, yeah, I answered this one earlier. I take breaks. So over the summer, I might be gone for 2 or 3 weeks after I get my Cybertruck. Maybe a ways afterwards, like in the middle of the summer. Want to travel to the West Coast maybe and check out some stuff with my family. And just have some fun. Give my daughter a cool experience for the summer that she can talk about in school. So I like vacation, man. I like breaks. Sometimes you just literally have to disconnect. It gives you time to reboot and figure out what your next focus is going to be. And I'm all about rebooting. That's been my entire life. So that's my thought there. Manjinder, I'm going to take a gap here at 53, lol, travel. And I said, yeah, that's fucking cool. Do it. All right, so let me get down. Let me see if I got a stock in here. Hey, Jesse, hope everything goes well. Thanks for in. Happy Sunday. Some memberships. Somebody talked about Fubo. All right, sure, we can do that. I can shit on Fubo for you. I know Jeremy likes this one. He would be, well, he probably doesn't even care if I talk about it, but yeah, I shit on this one a lot. I did own it. I gave it a chance. So the big problem I have is I used it. And I had YouTube TV before it, and I compared the two. And on the mobile app, YouTube TV was better. I could do picture and I could do a recessed picture where it's smaller, and still go about my business. I could never do that with Fubo app, so I never used it portably. When I was doing stuff, it just didn't work well. And again, it's just like a matter of like if you're trying to mow the lawn, do anything, you can't do it. And so that sucked, but also just the packages, like they're super comparable, and YouTube at any point could just be like, hey, you know what? Let's lose money on all the stuff we do with our YouTube TV. Let's like cut the price by 30% just to destroy the competition. And they don't even have to be that direct. They could just cut it by like 5% and just hurt the competition. And here's the thing, there's like Pluto TV, and like Amazon gives you free TV nowadays. If you use Prime, I think, and pay for like a little bit extra of a monthly fee, you get all these fucking channels, like a DVR, and then I think some other on-demand things too. So like there's just so many alternatives that exist. And then you've got Google against you, and you're going to try and fucking survive. And don't get me wrong, their revenues are increasing, and that's great, but they're still losing $70 million last quarter in net income, $83 million the one before, $50 million the one before that, and $83 million the one before that. And this was like some reverse split merger shit. But look at this. The revenues are starting to top out. And then I know that there's other potential contract concerns for like sports related stuff, and whether it's being anti-competitive against Fubo. There's just like all this shit. And I just don't know that it's worth it. And maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like TV's fucking dead, guys. I never use TV. The only reason I have YouTube TV is to watch CNBC on my computer. That's it. It's the only time I use it. I wouldn't even have it otherwise. And I look at younger kids, and they don't even give a shit about any of this stuff. They're not going to use this. So I don't fucking care what the price is. I don't think it's got too many risks. It's not worth $416 million, in my opinion. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. So that's my thought on Fubo. That's why I think it's garbage. I think it's a waste. Why wouldn't you bet on the future? Bet on Bitcoin, bet on Tesla, bet on Palantir, bet on any other number of products that are looking to grow and rebound and gain tons of value. Don't look at like some old ass TV service that nobody gives a fuck about that's like marginally the same as some of their competitors. And I'm not even kidding. Like Pluto is just like one name. There's so many names. I don't even know how many. Let's look. Let's just look. Competitors to FuboTV. Sling, Filio. Let's see here. What else we got? Fubo. And I'm sure there's more. Here's what I should do. FuboTV alternative. That's a good one. And then I'll be done with this rant. I'll be done shitting on your stock. Hulu, YouTube TV, Peacock, Sling TV, FuboTV, the traditional cable industry, DirecTV, Filio, Disney, Paramount, ESPN. There's just like, yeah, fuck all that. And they're not doing anything notable at all, really. All right, moving on. Let me see here. Thoughts on BITX? It says 2x Bitcoin fund. Lauren Wheeler was asking about it. So I like MicroStrategy better. That's my take. I think that it could be a better multiplier, and it won't have that same concept of theta decay, but it can go to really, really strong heights because of the buying the dip on the Bitcoin thing and micro sailor and it being a proxy to Bitcoin. It's not the proxy that like the Bitcoin miners can be. They can give you a higher multiple, but it's maybe a 2x, right? Maybe even higher. So that's what I would do. And it's been down a lot. So like what's MicroStrategy down? Let's see here. Where my MicroStrategy at? There you are. Let's see. It was at recently the 2000s and we're still at 1289. So that's like a 45% drop. Some shit. Let me just do. My math isn't always that good. Let's see here. Like that's a good number to me, though. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, only 36 now. Only 36. That's a pretty big drop still. So I think that this, again, that multiplier can be pretty elastic and do really well. And so personally, that would be my play. Dooglebutt. Hey, Jesse, how did you go about picking up your altcoin? I said that earlier, too, so I'll skip that one. Smash the like, subscribe. Jesse's in the house on a Sunday. Yes, please do that. Tyler, can you take a look at TMDX, Transmedics? It's a company that transplants organs and is able to keep preserved outside the body. They have their own aviation fleet. They don't operate in China, do they? Because if they're in China, then I'm afraid they're harvesting some Uyghurs, and I will probably refrain. If they are not in China, then great. That sounds like a wonderful business. Let me check here. TMDX. Transmedics Groups. Yeah, it doesn't sound Chinese. I think we're going to be safe. All right. Wow, that is a hell of an increase in revenue. Wow. All right, we're starting this one off good, guys. Well, a little bit of a step down. That's okay though. Then maybe negative EPS again. But interesting. This is interesting. This can't be right. There's no way their institutional ownership crashed to 2% in one quarter. Is there anything weird I'm missing here? Let's see. Short interest is high though. There's something weird I'm missing. Why is short interest 20%? Debt's higher than assets. I wasn't looking at that. And operating expenses are not scaling well, and cash flow is still negative. They had a couple of really negative quarters. So this still has a decent amount of risk, but boy, can these guys get... Well, and what's their valuation? Oh, it's fucking high. Never mind. I got excited. I should always look at valuation first. So I don't love it. It gets D or an F. I should give these grades. That'd be fun. There's real quick, I'm gonna jump to something else. Dream and Forest, their sports package is what separates it from everyone else. Yeah, but from what I read, there was like some potential of them not having. I don't know if it's exclusivity or what in regard to the sports package. But either way, though, they can't make a profit. So like, I don't care if people like. I'm not just gonna buy something because I like the like the product, right? You can't do that. I could love Tesla, and Tesla could be the worst fucking investment in the world if they were losing $20,000. Let's just call them Neo. If they were Neo, then it would be a shit investment. Even if I thought the car was great, then you just buy the car, right? Now with Tesla, I did it different. I bought the stock, and then the stock got me the car, right? Because the stock was the investment. The car was amazing, but you could see where the future was. So I look at it the same way with stuff like Fubo. It's like, okay, well, you've got a great sports package, but you can't make any fucking money, even with that great sports package, because you're overpaying just to get more customers and growth. Well, okay, what happens if at any point Google decides to squeeze you? You're fucked. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Now back to Transmetic so I can shit on this other person's stock. This is a fun session. Sorry. But the forward PE is 243. It's a $3 billion company that is potentially just nearing a profit, right? But still showing some negative cash flow and still has pretty high debt compared to what their cash burn is. And that's why there's such high short interest. So this is still a high valuation on a potentially risky stock. So there's a lot of things that could be downside multipliers here. So I'm out. Sorry, I got excited at the beginning, but I just didn't look close enough. Dallin B0. And if I ever shit on your stock, guys, you can add more information. I'll try and look at it, okay? I'll try and look at it. I'll try and respond to it. I won't be an asshole. I mean, unless it's like some really communist CCP shit, then I might be an asshole. Just because I don't want to support the CCP. I want Chinese people to be free. Anyway, Daloon B001000. Thank you, because I'm in 15,000 shares and want to hear your views. Oh, so sorry about that. Which one is that? Is that the same company? Was that for Fubo or a TMDX? Hey, either way, get the fuck out, maybe. I mean, not financial advice, of course. Intelligent Computing. HKBTC ETF goes live soon. Woo, woo. Yes, sir. Is it today? Or is it I think it's tomorrow night. I don't know. Maybe it is. Either way, it's going to be fucking awesome. I'm excited. Lauren Wheeler, looking ETH is pumping while BTC is taking a break. Yeah, I think that's all right. I think that's really healthy. It shows that we're still risk on, right? Otherwise, people wouldn't be pumping into shit coins, of which I consider ETH to be one. It's the nicest shit coin. Well, I mean, maybe Solana. All right, Concord, buying the rumor on US ETH ETF approval. I think a lot of people are going to be thinking that's happening. And also, too, there's the narrative the Hong Kong ETFs are going live no matter what. That could be another vehicle to spend the money or to put more liquidity into. Chris Cashman, did you get to look at NVO? No, I haven't. I haven't done enough due diligence. I've been going in so many directions, man. But that's a goal. So I don't know if it'll be this weekend. It might even be during the week. I definitely like the idea of doing further research on that one and a few other ones like CSIQ, OUST, LNTH. I got a huge list, guys. Got a huge list of ones that I want to do further research on. But I try to not, I'd rather have it be quality and timely and not too early. So I have to think about a lot of stuff. When I'm doing research and I think I might be finding something, there's always the danger that I find it too early. I mean, that's what I did with PayPal, right? June of last year. I might still make money on all those leaps, even though it was June of last year. But when I got into them, but that's still such a long time to be wrong in the options world. And so if I end up recommending anything as an asymmetric bet, especially if it's a leap related bet, I've got to do a better job recommending it at the right time. And so those are the things I'm trying to figure out from a number of perspectives. And that's why I'm, investing in all these tools. So I did not look at it, but that is on my list. That's a long fucking way of saying that. Really fucking long. All right. Text Slayer 528. I love you, Jesse. Thanks for all your content. Also not sure how I got myself blocked by you on X. Oh, if you give me your info, man, I'll unblock you. I don't know either, dude. I couldn't tell you. Sometimes I click the wrong fucking button. I hide posts sometimes if I don't think they're relevant to the content. So it might not even be anything you've done. I just they make it, they do the shitty thing on X where if you hide a post, it has two options and one of them is to block. So when you click hide, like you get this thing up, and if you click, they're right next to each other. And so if I click the wrong thing, like just instinctually, it's like you're blocked. And then I can't even figure out who the fuck you were unless I like really know your handle. It's not even easy to find you in the list. So it kind of sucks. But yeah, you shoot me in this post here. You shoot me what your ID is, and I'll fix it, man. Okay, so Fresco, sub Jesse, respect. Okay. Coin beating earnings next week. Yeah, and I said I think it will. I think Coin will beat earnings next week. I'd be surprised if they didn't. Trading should have been sick. We've already seen Interactive Brokers and some of these other companies coming in. We know that they're doing well. And so I would assume that Coin, especially with all these ETFs and all the traction that they had for so long, we haven't gotten a really good beat on all those earnings since the ETFs went live. We're going to see some pretty heavy numbers, I think, for Coin. The question is, are they heavy enough? I would say they're heavy enough and that it'll be good and will go up. That's my guess. Guillermo, Elon went with Tom Zhu. Oh, yeah, we saw that earlier. Sean, less regulation for FSD than the USA. I mean, potentially. China's one of the most, depending upon what you're trying to do, if it's like personal freedom and stuff like that, there's heavy regulation. And it just all depends on what you're trying to do. If you're performing espionage to steal from the West, then yeah, you're right, it's pretty open, but it just depends on what you're trying to do. Kumar, Jesse, bro, tried FSD yesterday. Oh yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, that's so good, dude. And what did you say in here? Want to double my call options. Yeah, and so I just don't know if it's a good buy right now. I said earlier. These Kodak, JS. Hey, Jesse, first time watching live. Oh, I already saw that one. Henry, Castleton, Riot, please. What? I already did one of those. Kumar, is there a place where we can sell options? All right. Concord, Robinhood is a decent amount of options. Tech Slayer, I love you, Jesse. Thank you for all your content. Also not sure how. Oh, I already did that one. How did I get back to that? Let me get down in this list. I don't have premium on X. It's hard for me to comment. Yeah, sorry, man. So here's the thing. The reason I do premium on X is that if I don't do that, my chat is a fucking nightmare. Okay? So I have no choice. I don't want to be these people who are managing the chat, and I don't want to leave scammers that are impersonating me in my fucking chat. And I don't want all the garbage that goes with leaving your chat open. So I have to make it to where, and here's the thing, if there was a subscription service on X, they haven't given it to me, I would charge like $1 to people just to make sure they're not a fucking bot, and so I don't have to deal with my chat and all the scammers and all the bullshit. I would charge like $1 and for each person, and I'm going to be lowering, for the people that don't know it, if you join this channel, the starter pack next month, I don't know exactly when, but next month I'm going to lower the price from $2.99 to $1.99 just to make it cheap and easily and accessible for you guys to where you don't care about having it. Because I want to have as many people on here as possible, and so I want it to be very affordable, and I don't care about making money, and so I don't care if the price goes lower. I appreciate everybody that supports this channel. My goal is just to get a lot of tools and make this accessible. The only reason I'd raise the price in the future would be because it's there's just too much bullshit going on in the chat, and we need to weed out, the shitty people. But I also don't want to raise the price to make it unaffordable. So I won't be like, I posted earlier today, there's this person talking about $100 to $200 a month memberships. How, like, if people can't afford that or don't want it, then how do they expect to be a good investor? I'm like, well, fucking, if you're a really good investor, why do you need to charge people $100 to $200 a month for a course? I don't get it, man. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, maybe you provide a lot of value and you want to get monetized for it. But if you're so fucking good at this, shouldn't you not need other people's money in a large way? And so that's kind of the way I feel. I want there to be a price to get rid of the trash, like on X. Even though I'd make no money from that, I still require that people be verified to talk in my comments. And so X makes money from that, but all it does for me is it helps keep it clean, and it's the same thing here. So that's anyway what I'm trying to accomplish, just so you guys know. Manjindar, Kuner, any news on FSD working on Indian roads? Probably not right away. That would be the ultimate test. Oh, dude, Indian roads are so fucked. Yeah. No, there's so much chaos from rickshaws and everything else. It would be a nightmare. I think that's probably one of the reasons they're waiting. But I think what we'll see I think the next year, it's very clear that we're going to be focused, or Tesla is going to be focused on, existing markets, not touching so much Mexico, not touching India, and just working really aggressively with what they have and working on autonomy and AI and getting it to where full self-driving is making them tons of revenue and margins, and people really take them seriously as a SaaS type company, not just a hardware company. And so I think that we'll see just a lot of momentum push towards that. And then if the general macro economy doesn't look fucking horrific, I can see us switching over to spinning up Mexico, spinning up India, and maybe some other areas in Asia. And also, too, he's been talking to Javier Milei, and I wouldn't be surprised if I don't know, maybe it's mineral-based or something else, but maybe some lithium refining. I don't know what they have in Argentina, but I could see us trying to do something there. I don't know if they'd have the skilled labor set. I don't know. We'd have to see. But I could see us trying to do something there to help out that economy, too, and at the same time maybe get some really cheap labor. So, and Argentina is going to be a huge economy, too, in the future. So I think like Mexico, India, Argentina, these are going to be some of the giants in the future, I think. So I'm very excited to see it. But yeah, I don't think FSD in the Indian roads anytime soon. BD, we can have a comeback. I don't remember what that's in reference to. Manjindar Kuner, how long before Elon gets the Nobel Peace Prize? Oh, probably a long time. I think there's enough people that probably do the voting behind that hate him, right? He can't even get a meeting with the president in a country where he's transforming it, so for the better. Jose Reyes Ruiz, glad I joined in. Hey, thanks, man. I'm glad to have you here. Austin Tan, finally could get an acceptable time to listen. I live in Singapore. Cool, man. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. I just wanted to say thanks for all your insights so far. Such an affordable price. Oh, thanks, man. There's a bunch of people watching from Singapore. I love that. I love how you guys are everywhere, man. I love it. I get so much good information from all around the world and input. Eric S. CodeStrap has interesting take on robotaxi fleets. What is it? Jose Ray Ruiz, your overview for BTC for this next week, 57K, 59. 59 potentially, but I don't even know if we have to make it to that level, and we could bounce. So, I mean, just don't get too worried about Bitcoin, I don't think. I think it'll be momentary. I hope, though. I hope it drops more. I really do. I really do. I really, really, really do. Intelligent Computing. Apparently, Snow created their own LLM trying to catch up to Palantir. I don't give a shit about Snow. I just don't. Let me see here. Are they? Let me just make sure. I don't know, man. I don't see how you catch up to Palantir right now. And here's the thing I don't like about Snow. Look at this. Like, this is the same bullshit, right? This company is valued right now at $52.8 billion, right? And they're burning $170 million a quarter off of $774 million in revenue. And so over $100 million a quarter in burned net income. And then there's Palantir. And Palantir is made almost $100 million in net income. And they're seeing strong growth rates. And they've got a lower fucking market cap. So I don't understand it. I don't understand Snow. I think this is a much better investment. And so when I look at Snow, all I say is like, oh, the shitty version of Palantir. And until they prove otherwise, that's what I consider them to be. Nick Iannuzzi, also why Elon says manufacturing is the hardest part for Tesla knows that. Yeah, I was shitting on some people about NIO. They were complaining about how Tesla doesn't have swappable batteries and how people don't understand. The guy forgot to charge his car last night and a swappable battery would have been so awesome. Dude, swappable batteries are the dumbest fucking idea on earth for a car. They create inherent management, service maintenance, and then having the facilities where you swap them. And then hopefully you don't have long-term issues where you have batteries dropping out of fucking cars or Again, somebody could be, you don't even know what battery you're getting. Like, it could be a really shitty one. Maybe it hasn't been maintained in a while, and you went from having a really good battery to a really bad one. How do you warranty any of this shit anymore? How do you even have a warranty system? So much liability being put on the manufacturer for people that could be just rotting the fuck out of these cars and destroying these batteries, and they have no personal accountability because they can just press a button and put a fucking new one in? There are so many issues with this thesis, and this company is losing over $15,000 a car. They're worse than Rivian. And you're going to try and act like they're fucking awesome? It's the stupidest shit in the world. And you know what? Battery swapping? That came from Elon Musk. It was his fucking idea. And then he saw how stupid it was, and so he only talked about it one fucking time. Then Neo builds off of that and actually builds these fucking battery swaps like the idiots they are and like the money-burning company they are. And they're no way scaling these things because it's not scalable. It's unattainable. It is a failure. So if you're invested in this piece of shit company, run away. And if you're listening to some dipshit who doesn't realize that Tesla making $7,200 per vehicle is astronomically better than this shithole company that's been around forever, and from the Chinese EV market at least, not being able to come even remotely close and losing over $15,500 a car. That's a $23,000 difference per vehicle. So don't listen to these fucking idiots who have put no thought into this stuff. You're wasting your fucking time. Listen to people who actually try, not morons that got lucky, I guess, and invested in Tesla, and now they think Neo is the new Tesla. That's the dumbest fucking take on this earth, and it speaks to your IQ if you think so. Anyway, or your lack of attention on the subject. Either way, not very smart or wise. Nick. Elon. Oh, yeah, I already said that one. Eric S. We like the enthusiastic Jesse. You get him every once in a while. Manjinder Kuner, a little bit of Barry White before bed. So you were calling me Barry White. Thanks, man. Hey. All right, intelligent computing, multiple S-curves this time. So many S-curves when it comes to autonomy and robotics and all this other stuff, man. Concord, regarding Sofi, just look at how quickly the pro analysts flipped on Tesla last week. And who fucking told you guys? Who fucking told you? For the last several weeks, when everybody said the sky was falling, when Meet Kevin was drunk on carrots, talking about how Tesla's valuation just plummeted because they were canceling the robotaxi, who fucking told you that these people were being idiotic and that the narrative would flip on a fucking dime? I made 60% in a couple of days last week. So listen to me, at least most of the time. All right. Intelligent computing. Yeah, and so SoFi, it could do the same thing. PayPal could do the same thing. Narratives are bullshit most of the time. They're just narratives. That's why we call them that. Doesn't mean they're real. Most narratives are wrong. So remember that. Intelligent computing BTC daily candle just closed on a red spinning top back to the 20-day. Yeah, maybe. Again, I think 59. I don't think we're going to go that low. I hope so. Concord, Solana will get the real pump. Yep, it will after the Ethereum ETF. So maybe a sell the news when the Ethereum US ETF goes live. We talked about that earlier. Zach, I think miners have a quick dip on Monday. Yeah, I think so. Again, there's all this DTCC bullshit, and there's just a bunch of people there's a bunch of negative narratives in the Bitcoin world, and I could see them prevailing maybe at the beginning of the week while stocks do better. That's my thought. Could be wrong. We'll see. Tesla up on hood over 173. Oh, is it right now? Is it right now? I love that. Where did Tesla end? Let me hit my little button. Where my little button at? Tesla. All right. So Tesla closed 168.29, guys. And we're at 173 on hood now, he's saying. Gotta love it. I told you guys we could get resistance, though, in the 175, like 185 range. But if we can break through that, fuck, it's on like Donkey Kong. All right, Pietro. Intel. How do you like them long-term with the coming foundry and all the government money to help them? I maybe like them because they're getting billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. But they have not executed well. And so I don't know what to make out of them. And then there's products that are supposed to be competing with NVIDIA. I'm not sure if they will. I would need to understand it on a much more fundamental level to feel confident about Intel right now. Because here's the thing. If I really know that something's going to do good and it's got a negative narrative, well, then who gives a shit? I'm going to buy it, right? I know it'll turn around. I know I'll do really well. But if I don't, like, it's hard to know the entire chip sector and who's going to beat who in the future. And this management has disappointed me, and it's new management that I thought was not going to disappoint me. So I don't know what to make out of Intel right now. I need to do more research. I do want to get into chips more. So that's gonna be an area of focus. If you guys know people that are really brilliant on the chip sector besides ticker symbol U, he's one person I listen to. There's a couple, but I would love to hear the names of the people because I want to get better at it. Eric asks, check out Crater Lake in Oregon if you can get out there. Yeah, will do. I know I want to go to the Redwoods. I know there's a lot of things that I want to hit along the way. But that sounds fun. I'll try and remember that one too. Hey Jesse, is it too late to get into SoFi options? I don't like options right now for SoFi. Maybe January 2026, but I haven't run them recently. I own a bunch in January 2025, but here's the thing I don't like about that. It's such a short amount of time. If they shit the bed for 2 more quarters, those options could bleed down really bad. But you know what you can do? Watch my options 101 video. Just because I haven't run the numbers recently doesn't mean you can't, take a look at that, use the same tools and figure out if you find a nice risk to reward. It's a very visual way of doing it. I think I cover a lot of the really good stuff. So you could check that out on your own. I personally, though, would not be buying any more of the January 2025 calls that I own. They have like a $15 strike, I think. I think that might, again, just if macro gets weird or something, I'd rather be in January 2026 and I haven't run those numbers. So check to see if it's worth it. Liam Dillon. Oh, we got that one. Tesla's pushing to 175. No shit, guys. God, you're gonna make me want to pull up. Let me just look here. Let me see if I can pull up Robinhood. Because this is running on Robinhood, right? Like like I was saying earlier, the 24/7 market's kind of fucking brilliant, right? But you can't get that stuff with everybody. Yeah, so we're at, what is it at? 173? Oh, it's 173 now, though. Or if I'm looking at it right, let me just check. Sorry, I'm looking on my screen before I open it up to you guys. I don't know if it's going to let me get right into the screen. But yeah, it says like 174-ish, right around there. That's pretty good. If that changes, I'll let you know. It's got me at the login window, though, and I don't really want to show. I guess I could just pop it up here. So again, that's looking pretty good. Let me keep going through the notes here. See what else you guys are talking about. Thank you for taking the time to explain your side on it. I really appreciate it. You are very welcome. Intelligent computing, bet on Hood. Yes, I think Hood's going to look good heading into next week. It had a nice strong bounce off the fib. You guys, I showed you the post last week about going from 4 billion in March to 6 billion for their IRAs. So they gained an extra 2 billion. It's crazy. They're seeing massive amounts of growth. They've got over 1 million. What was it? 1 million people that signed up for Robinhood Gold or interest in the card. I don't even know. They're doing really well. Hood's going to be fun. I want to get more of it. I don't have enough. I'm just hoping I can make a bunch of money from these other plays, and then maybe I can siphon some into Hood. I don't think I'd do options again, but I'd probably get the stock. Dream and Forest, because I think it's got a 75% run over the short term. Dream and Forest, their sports package is what? Oh, that was Fubo. Okay, skip that. Intelligent Computing Discord is 38% owned by Tencent. Kind of hate that, but are they based out of it though? Like, are they incorporated out of China, or are they pretty independent right now? Because I don't care, like, if they have partial ownership, but all the control is overseas and not in China anymore, I might be okay with it. Tyler H., I already asked for one, but on an earlier stream you said you wanted to look at ABNB. All good if you don't. Oh yeah, let's do it. Finally getting to this one. I know I was going to do it that last time too, and I don't remember what happened. But Did Airbnb recently have earnings? I can't remember. I do want to have this. I do want to start tracking Airbnb more though. I need to make sure. That's one I want to track. Airbnb. It's one I want to track going forward because it's one that really will let us know how like a service-based economy is doing. Because as long as you got people traveling around, and Airbnb is a great way. I mean, you could look at hotels and stuff too, but Airbnb is like, it's a great way to figure out how things are going on around the world, especially in the United States in regard to travel and stays, and especially for recreational and like higher amounts of spending. So I like it. And this looks like a falling, it's either a channel or a falling broadening wedge. Mangender, thanks, dude. Hey, if you guys click on that, you can get a free monthly membership and chat. If you can't chat, that's a great way to do it. And then we'll welcome you to the team here, and you can start talking to us. Thanks for doing that, Mangender. You're awesome, man. Really appreciate you. But yeah, so Airbnb. So this, from a technical standpoint, this looks like maybe it wants to break higher. Not a bad looking chart. Let's see what it looks like in the weekly. Let's go out further, and then we'll check the valuation. It's $106 billion right now. It's had a pretty good run, though, huh? From where it was at in like December, into December, it was like 82, and so now it's about double that. It is a little bit larger of a cap. Let's look at, let's go here over to the financials, though. I want to see if they've reported recently. And if so, what did it look like? All right. So let's see. No, so they haven't gotten their new financials yet. When was it? When is that coming out? Let's go to the daily again. So earnings are real quick. May 8th. So next week. I'm going to make sure that one's on my list too, because I want to get earnings for these guys. But growth slowed like 17%. Net income dropped a lot in Q4 and was actually in the red by 349 million. So, but I don't know anything about the actual fundamentals. Let me see if he's got anything. So we don't have really good charts as like this, like all the data that's not like straight up financial data, like number of stays, all that stuff. That's the kind of stuff I want to follow this week. So I'm gonna add these guys to my favorites chart. So thank you very much for reminding me of that, and we'll see how they do on earnings. I'll probably do it if there's nobody else for that day. Let's look here. Let's look at the earnings calendar real quick too. So again, Sofi Monday morning, PayPal Tuesday morning, and then I'll probably do a stream, maybe like incorporate Amazon into the market recap in the afternoon on Tuesday. And then it looks like Mercado Libre, it's e-commerce for Latin America. I don't know if I'll do a conference call for that one, but I'll definitely be listening to it and watching it maybe on the ticker in the market recap. And then Apple, I'm probably going to do an earnings call on, or Square. I'll let you guys vote on that one. So, but that's some stuff just coming up here in the next week. And then it's just going to get even crazier as we hit more and more earnings over the next few weeks. There's going to be a ton of earnings that I'm going to try and follow. So it should be very fun. By fun, I mean like just crazy. So we'll talk about Airbnb more as we get that earnings report. Let me see here. Oh, I think I got out of sync. Okay, bros. Jesse, will you make another members only video? Looking forward to. And I said, yeah, I'll definitely do that. I just want it to be quality, and the timing's got to be right. I don't want to get people excited about things early and then have them lose money or lose heart. I think that happened with PayPal. I think a bunch of people probably lost money on that play and exited. I still think that there's going to be a great opportunity there, and I'll make a bunch of money, but I don't think I did a service to anybody by telling them about it last May and June. So it's really one of those things where I've got to feel like it's the right time. If I don't feel that, if I don't think I'm doing a good job with timing, I don't want to recommend it. I just want to do right by as many people as I can. I'm never going to be perfect, but Dutch Bros, wow, perfectly on the one, or the fib line here. Perfectly on the fib. Perfectly near peak volumes. Perfectly near the 50-week moving average. Lots of perfects in here. $5 billion company. Is the valuation worth it? Let's take a look. But it definitely looks like it's trying to find a layer of support. I don't know anything about the coffee business, but nearly 2 a.m. here. Man, go to bed, dude. Thank you for the 10 memberships, man, but get some rest. Love you, bro. Appreciate you. Tyler H. Awesome. Thank you. All right, so Dutch Bros. We're seeing 26% growth, $5.1 billion company. Net income is not a lot. That's a high valuation. 81 PE, forward PE, 909 PE. I don't love it. Estimates look like they're going to get a little better, though. Hopefully they do a good job hitting estimates. I don't like that they're selling more than they're buying. That kind of sucks. I just don't, there's nothing interesting here to me because the valuation's so high. That's kind of my thought there. So it is finding support. Maybe it does that for another 6 months or a year. I don't even know. Joe Tong, can you have a look at the Trupanion, the Trup? I thought you were going to say Trump. Trup. Don't know what this is. Trupanion. Is that a dog? All right. You got me curious. Insurance specialty. 41% short interest. 41. Holy shit. Their operating expensive had what? This is weird. There's some weird shit going on here. I got to look at this. This is so fucking weird. Let me look at their yearly and see if that. Okay. So they're a perpetual money loser. Right? They've been around since 2011 and have never made any money. 13 years of losing money. Not a great start. I do like the growth, though. I like the growth, right? Sometimes, Amazon took a long time, but is this Amazon? I don't know. Cash flow's higher. Dig that. I'm glad the operating expenses dropped, but I don't know why. I don't know why we've had this I can't say catastrophic, amazing drop in expenses. It's super fucking weird. But the 41% short interest is also insane and almost unbelievable. I need to type Trup in over here. I've got to understand how is there 41% short interest? Oh, it says 38. So it looks like that's outdated. Again, this is the place I kind of go for the actual short, like up-to-date information. So, yeah, so this one's gotten a little bit better. It's 37.84, but this is still such a huge number. It makes me feel like I'm missing something here. So it looks like we were getting towards maybe trying to not lose money, but then again, it's just kind of dropping and then starting to come up a little bit. So this is a 13-year experience where this company hasn't made any money and their forward PE is 256. So I don't know, man. I don't have anything interesting to say about this company. They got to do better. They could do better, but they got to do better. N01ZH, Jesse, much love from Sweden. Sweden, awesome, man. Could you check DNMR? Is it a dying company or could it have a turnaround? We can never know that for sure, but I can look at the financials and tell you if it looks like anything good is happening in their future. Whether or not there are things that aren't on here yet, who knows? Danimer Scientific. It's a chemicals company. 21.63 short interest. Does not look good if you go back through the last couple of years here at what their bond and cash is versus their debts. They did have a positive cash flow this last quarter. They're burning $40 million a quarter, and then they're diluting shares. They had revenue growth reduction of 29%. This could be a rebound story, though, but I hate the level of debt, right? Like, over the last 4 years, these guys pre-pandemic looked like they were just fucking raking in the money. And then during the pandemic, that just plummeted. What do they do? Like, chemical what? Sofi, 24-hour. Yeah, let's take a look. I don't know how they're doing. So Tesla's still near 175, up 3.66. Gonna make a shit ton of money. That's another, what is that, 60 grand tomorrow that I should make. if all turns out well, maybe 90 if it keeps up. So loving those Tesla calls. Again, drop Bitcoin. I want to buy some more Bitcoin. Up 2.85% for Sofi in after hours still. So we're in the 811 range. That's not a bad number. Let's see how PayPal's doing. I love that we can do this at any time. Oh, I didn't want the options or yield strategy here. Overnight 0.65. Admirable mention. I can't hate that. But yeah, that's interesting. So, but Danimer Scientific specializes in producing sustainable and natural plastic alternatives under the Nadax TM brand, focusing on biodegradable and compostable biopolymers for everyday plastic products, with over 150 patents in nearly 20 countries. All right, coating, fibers, injection. I just don't know. So I don't know enough about this company to understand why did things change for them so much. From 2020. I guess just their cash just burned. They just kept burning so much money. 2021, 2020. Doesn't even necessarily have to be pandemic related. I mean, they just aren't a money-making company. And it just doesn't look like it's getting a lot better. Operating expenses are getting a little bit better. Estimate looks like we might get a tick up. But again, their revenues are choppy. So is that just going to disappear? I don't love it. I do love this. I like the fact that they're buying a little bit of their stock, right? Shares bought 3.7 million, 1.7 million, 2.8. So they've been more buyers than sellers over the last several years, which hopefully it either means they're trying to instill confidence or that they are confident. But I don't like the 126% stock-based comp versus revenue. That sucks. I can't. To me, it could be a dying company. It doesn't look like a bouncing company. So I'm out. Farhan Ahmad, could you take a look at CGC, Canopy Growth Company? Yeah, I can look at it. Can't remember if these guys were doing better. What was it? CGC? Yeah, Canopy Growth. I can't remember if these guys were doing better. I'm not opposed to marijuana stocks. I don't know if it's good to inhale anything. Like that, whether it's vapes or any of that stuff. So I don't think it's great for your lungs. Obviously better than some of the shit that's in cigarettes. So I don't love it from that standpoint. But yeah, here's another thing I don't love. 22% year over year revenue growth losses, declining revenues since 2020, massive losses. You could just call it a bankrupt company. I think that's probably the nice thing to do. I mean, they're buying back. Maybe they turn it around. But right now, the only thing I don't know. They must have done a reverse stock split. It looks like they've done a few of those. On top of diluting the fuck out of you, they reverse stock split so that you can't see how badly they're fucking you. That's a good reason to do that. No love for this whatsoever. No love for it. Sorry, man. Live and Go, Lavango, just subscribed. Yeah. Happy to have you here, bro. Dreaming Forest, will X Payments be a competitor to PayPal, or could there be some sort of collaboration? They will be a competitor. But here's the thing. All the banks are getting consumed by fintech. So PayPal, Square, Hood, Sofi. Sofi is about as traditional of those as you can get. They're all going to consume regular banking. So it's a pretty open market, and then you've got to think about all the people that are unbanked. So it'll be a competitor, but it's a competitor in a growing market. So it'll be more like who's growing the most and who do we think is going to take all the market share. And I think X will get there, but it's not going to be like overnight. The only thing I worry about is the narrative, stealing thunder. That's it. Waymo is screwed. Waymo is fucked. Rocket Lab might be a good asymmetric opportunity. Yeah, but I've looked at it a number of times in here, and you're going to get the whole spiel from me. I think it's still the same on these guys. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm confusing it from my last visit. So you got revenue growth that's a little bit stronger, but again, perpetual money loss. This is a rocket company. Sending things into space is super fucking hard. The only real good company that doing it is SpaceX, and that's your competition. So the next space company is SpaceX, and this is not a good investment right now. No competition for Tesla owners. Operator model. Cost to maintain fleet is high. No competition for Tesla's owner operator model. Cost to maintain fleet is high. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think I see what you're saying there. So I think that they will maintain a fleet of robo taxis and like speed limit zones in metropolitan areas that are like in a 35-mile or lower zone, and where they are going to have approvals and where they have city and state regulations that are going to be really easy to work with. That's where they're growing. They've got like 10 or 15 of these cities picked out, and they're probably going to start doing some of that driving. I think very soon, and they're probably going to be doing it before 8/8 is my guess, even though some of it might be in secret. But you're going to see that they're going to be doing some. But oh, thanks for joining, Taylor. But I think the important thing is that they don't have to operate this whole fleet. They'll have by the end of this year they'll have like 8 million cars, or I'm sorry, it's probably like 7 million that will be capable of using FSD and paying $99 a month or $8,000 in total for a one-time charge. That's a huge fucking number, guys. And even if 5% subscribed, the margins behind Tesla's cars, when you start to factor in all this stuff and like the recurring revenues, will look more like they're expanding greatly, and it's just going to be sick. Like $7,200 a car, why not 10,000? Why not 15? Why not 20? Why not $50,000 in margin in cars or more? You got to realize, guys, it gets the numbers are going to get super fucking crazy. It's going to be super fucking crazy and weird. And for a while there, Tesla might stop selling their cars. It might make more sense not to. And then they can use all the margins they're getting by running their fleets. If they figure out how to scale and do it effectively, they can use those margins to severely ramp Optimus. There's so many crazy things happening though. Anyway, live and go money. Mr. Casper, 100 shares of Tesla will make you retire in 2030. Very possible. Intelligent computing, got to bounce. All right, see you, man. All right, I think I'm near the end anyway. Need to sleep. All right, awesome, thank you. Could you tell us what Sofi is on Robinhood? I did that. Pega. I'll do Pega real quick. That one doesn't ring a bell. Pega Systems, Inc. All right, revenue. It's growing, 1%, pretty slow. No real profits. Cash is going up. Debt went down. Not sure why. Cash flow is going up. Dilution's still happening. Operating expenses are getting better. Looks like steady growth, not large growth. EPS looks brighter than it's looked historically, though, so that could be a positive. And they're definitely buying a lot of shares, right? This is a lot of buying, a lot of confidence since 2021 in this company. Large amounts of purchases. And institutional ownership is high. Short interest jumped this last quarter, 2.52%. Nothing crazy, though. The valuation is 21 forward PE and 77 PE. So I don't know what these guys do. It looks kind of fairly valued, but I don't know if there's anything interesting about this company that would make me want to invest in them. The valuation looks like pretty normal, and I'm an asymmetric bet kind of guy. All right, PD, about to get a raise to invest. Just made last young adult tuition payment, graduating engine. Sweet, dude. So you got more money to invest. That's going to be great for your future, dude. Just don't, if there's ever bumps in the road or economic things that happen, don't let it get you out of the markets. Just keep investing. It's the smartest thing you can ever do in your life. And after the 2008 financial crisis, I ran away for over 7 years, almost 8. Such a wasted amount of time. I would have made a fortune if I would have learned all the things that I know now back then. So just don't quit and put in your extra money, guys. As long as you can afford to lose it, like build out your future and learn and invest in the right things. Put capital in companies that are kicking ass and they're going to make the world better and make a shit ton of money. Apply that capital to things in your life that you believe you should prioritize. Hey Jesse, thanks for the upload. With the Hong Kong BTC ETH ETF inflows next week and end of May, are you considering playing ETH and taking some profits at possible peak? Or I've got some ETH, but I'm probably not going to get more. I don't really care unless I really start to make too much money from like SoFi, PayPal, and some of these other ARKG and some of these other bets, and Tesla, some of the other bets that I have. If I'm making too much money on them, then I might expand out into other areas of crypto, especially if they get beat up. But again, I'm kind of doing that 2-3x multiplier play with like Arbitrum and Optimism and maybe Maddox like a 2x. So I'm getting a multiplier to Ethereum's already, and so I've got 400,000 in shitcoins, almost 500,000 or something. So I've got a lot of money in that stuff already. Anyway. Taylor Ficard, hello. Any chance you could look at new? Sure, real quick. Sorry if you covered this already, but can you expand on the DCs? Ignore it. It's just bullshit. So all it is talking about how they're going to devalue anybody who's using like their Bitcoin ETF or Ethereum ETF holdings, and they're trying to use those as collateral. They'll devalue them down 100%, and they won't accept them as collateral. It's a big fucking nothing burger. I think it might also be some maintenance for the potential Ethereum ETF that's coming into play. To me, it matters very little, and I think some people might make noise about it for a day or two, but it's bullshit, and I would ignore it. Tesla stock paid for 2 college educations. That's fucking awesome, BD. That's so cool, man. I'm happy for you, bro. Phil, Tesla keeps trying to bust through 175. Yeah, that's where strong resistance is, and then if it gets past that, it's 185, and then well, shit, maybe it wants to keep going. You got to realize the narrative behind FSD for China and getting subscriptions from that such a large segment, along with how well things are going along, it could really, get things a lot higher, guys. It really could. All right, so real quick, I'll look at new, and then I'm going to be done. I'm going to sign off after that here, and so I can get some snuggle time with my daughter. She's 10. And I got to get as much as that as I can because she's 10 going on 20. All right, revenue. So new is like the creme de la creme of the banking sector in Latin America. If you guys are new to this, get it. Number of customers just keeps growing like crazy. If you look at this yearly, it's pretty awesome. Purchase volume. I love revenue especially. Like look at their yearly revenue on this, guys. In 2018, these guys made 207 million. In 2020, during the start of the pandemic, they made 359 million for the whole year. In 2023, they went from 359 2020 to 7 billion. So 300 million-ish in revenue to 7 billion in revenue in 2023. And then if you switch that to the quarterly, it just gets stupid. Now, these guys are at a 25 forward PE and 52 PE. I'd say it's pretty fairly valued, but if they still figure out how to grow the way they're growing, this is what I call a steady Eddie. It's just a continual way to make money. And so, like, if we look at what their net income was more recently here, or just the revenue recently, look at Q4 2023, 2.2 billion. These guys could crush it. Again, last year, they had 7 billion. Maybe it's 10, 11 billion this year. And so we're just seeing stupid amounts of money that are starting to come in for this company. It's a 52 billion, but their rate of growth and their execution is like top tier. 3-year revenue growth is 147%. Estimates going forward are strong. Like, it's not a shitty company at all. They did sell, what was that? That looks weird. I'll have to check that. I don't think I have all the stuff for their insider selling activity and stuff because their time frames are a little weird. A lot of good information in this one, though, kind of like Sofi. Alejandro has a lot of great stuff, like revenues by segment, by region, customer deposits, stock-based comp, all the usual stuff, average cost per user, revenue per user, interest earning portfolios, like just a lot of cool metrics on this one. But it's a good company, and I think it just keeps going up. And if you look at the stock, I'll look at that real quick, and then we'll say goodbye. But the stock just looks great. And it did have a little bit of a setback when the markets took a dive, like the middle part of last year, into the Q3, Q4, kind of the Q3 to Q4 range. But if you look here, guys, this is like what I said. It's a steady Eddie. Now, and this is dependent upon how well the Latin American market does, but I'm really getting excited about Argentina, and then I'm looking at Mexico, and then just some of these other countries, and I'm thinking they're getting ready to have some amazing times, and so like they might be an India type play in Mexico too. if the violence can get under control. The government has to control gang violence, and maybe we end up helping them with it. We definitely have a vested interest, but this one, though, I mean, look at this. The stock was, in January 2023, you could get this thing at $3.40, and it went as high as 12. So it's a steady Eddie. It's just going to be one of these that can keep going for a while as long as the Latin American market does well and this company continues to innovate. And they're adding like crypto stuff, and they're really smart. Hey, Jesse, I finally made it to subscribe. Thanks, Ralph. I appreciate it, man. Hope I can chat here with the phone now, too. What do you mean with the phone now, too? Do you mean have a conversation with me? I don't do really anything like that. I will talk. I can. You can give me your X handle, and I can follow you on X, and you can DM me that way. But I don't give anybody my phone number. But again, if you give me your X handle, I can add you on there, and then you can send direct messages to me, and I can respond to you there. It's just the direct thing is such an inefficient way for my time. So, but I try and help whenever I can. I got people that reach out to me every day, and I answer as many as I can, and most days I can do it. But it's not super scalable, so that won't be something that'll probably be a primary focus just for that reason. But I will try and do what I can. BD, get the snuggles in. Yep, I'm going to. I'm out, guys. You guys take it easy. Really appreciate you for being on here today. And again, I think it's going to be a fun week. I'm excited for Monday. Once I get done with my MRI and maybe around 8:30 or something, I should be back at it and getting caught up with stuff. And I'm hoping to hear really good things from Sofi, PayPal, and maybe even some Tesla as well. So it should be a good day tomorrow. So see you guys later. Take it easy. Have a good night. Peace.
Optimus, the robotic humanoid under development by Elon Musk's Tesla Inc., is sparking concerns around job security.
This is not financial advice, silly.
Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. Turned up to work and went to start my day. Was barely late, like 9:08. So took my coffee break. Then I got hungry, so I just stopped by the free buffet. But then to my dismay, I heard somebody say, attention humans, you have lost, you have not met your quota. Pack your belongings in a box, now it's over. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. But I'm in management. I work hard every day. I need these benefits, health and 401k. How could they do this shit though? Where will I trade my crypto? I had a second monitor for Twitter. Where will it go? Somebody please stop the bus. I mean not the fuss, but there's lots of us. And now you say you won't pay me to play ping pong because Optimus. I mean who employs a damn humanoid? Some new droid for you to exploit, deploy to destroy your human droid. No lunch breaks, great, get a few deployed. Your time is up, human inferior to me. I'll take it from here, you're relieved of your duty. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. It's okay, human, please don't cry. You can always go and become a Twitter thread guy. Make pretty pictures with Midjourney on your new PC. Or make some YouTube videos about ChatGPT. Sucker. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got.